Does your child have an IEP? Then you've come to the right place. If they have special education services, then you know there's a ton of people involved in developing the IEP. And if they don't work together, then your IEP meeting is a total disaster. And the bigger issue is your child's IEP cannot be effective. Take a deep breath. That's why inside this video, I'm taking you behind the scenes of IEPs in the third part of my 5-part series, How to Fix Your IEP, where we're gonna talk about team collaboration, specifically what it looks like, why teams must work together, and how, step by step, you can fix your IEP so you can advocate like a pro. Hey, what's up? I'm April Rarig, your special education advocate to make IEPs and 504 plans so much easier. If you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button to get more videos like this in your inbox, and follow us on Instagram at RiseEdAdvocacy. Here's what you need to know about IEPs. Individual education plans, also known as IEPs, are regulated under IDA law. The problem is teachers and providers are not given the right training or the right tools when it comes to how to set up an IEP meeting, and more importantly, how to run an IEP meeting. That way it doesn't take forever and everyone understands exactly what they're going to do, and you get a great IEP that's relevant, useful, and meaningful. Sounds awesome, huh? So make sure to keep watching this video because I'm going to talk to you a ton about productivity. Speaking of productivity, I want you to check out part 1 and part 2 of my video series playlist that lays out step 1 and step 2 of how to fix your child's IEP. Are you ready to dive into step 3? Let's do this. Like it or not, working with your school is going to be like a marriage. What am I talking about? At the IEP table, parents and teachers need to communicate and collaborate in order to develop an IEP. Otherwise, it's impossible for everybody on the team to craft an education plan that makes sense. That's why I want to go back to productivity, specifically the 5 keys to productive IEPs. Make sure to get my free guide, the 5 keys to productive IEPs, which lays out exactly what I'm going to tell you in just a second. Grab that link in the description box below. So think of developing an IEP that's productive like building a house. Step 1 has to do with setting the foundation for building an IEP, and that has to do with comprehensive assessments. Step 2 is going to be parent input. Step 3, which is what we're talking about today, which is team collaboration. Step 4 has to do with draft IEPs and assessments so you know exactly what your team is talking about before you walk in the door. Step 5, and the most important part, has to do with outcome-based IEPs that are strength-based and person-centered. Now it's time to dive into team collaboration, specifically why IEP teams need to work together. So I want you to think about something. Think about the last IEP meeting that you had for your child. Do you notice a theme going on? What am I saying? I'm saying that all of the different team members need to work together in terms of developing the IEP. Here's the deal, pro tip. An IEP is supposed to describe what your team is doing and the how-tos in terms of the setups and the underlying performance conditions so you know how your child is going to make meaningful progress in the least restrictive environment based on your child's unique learning needs under IDA law. So what does this mean? This means that your speech pathologist needs to talk to your general education teacher. It means that the assistant principal or the admin designee who's in the meeting needs to talk to the school psychologist. It means that all of them need to work together in order to set up the present levels of achievement, the goals, the specially designed instruction, and all the other parts of the IEP. Here's the problem, is that as parents, you're not given the IEP training. So you walk into that IEP and you're like, oh, it's like 50 pages that I'm looking up. That's why I want you to check out my video, What Does an IEP Look Like? That lays out the 8 parts of an IEP so you know exactly what to look for before you walk into your child's next meeting. Make sure to grab it in the link in the description box below. Let me ask you something else. When it comes to an IEP meeting, do you notice that so many times they go sideways because everybody isn't talking together and people are talking at each other instead of with each other? Make sure to check out my free guide, The 7 Steps to a Successful Meeting for Parents, so you know exactly how to phrase things, how to negotiate at the table, and how to communicate like a pro. Make sure to grab those links in the description box below. So we've talked about what you need to know when it comes to collaboration, those 5 keys to productive IEPs, and why teams must collaborate. So now it's time to dive into what this is going to look like. Let me give you an example. In the present levels of academic achievement and functional performance, it's not just supposed to be a spit out of the test scores. It's supposed to be a narrative in terms of what your child knows, what they don't know, what they need to learn, and what are the barriers to learning, or what's called the impact of disability. What am I saying? I'm saying that your team needs to work together and to collaborate in order to develop that present level section and to talk about prompting and cueing. So when they write the goal, it's not just John will be able to do this, but it's when given this, John will be able to do this with this underlying and performance conditions setups in the least restrictive environment. So make sure to grab my free guide, The Prompt Hierarchy, which tells you exactly what to ask for when it comes to prompting and cueing. So when your team is talking about present levels, when they're talking about the goals, and when they're collaborating, they can develop an IEP that's meaningful, relevant, and useful. Make sure to grab that link in the description box below. It all comes down to, as parents, knowing what to ask for and how to get it. But how do you don't know if you don't get the training? That's why I want you to make sure to check out my free video of IEP must and must not, that tells you exactly under IDA law what your team must do during an IEP meeting and what they must not do, so you can know exactly how to advocate like a pro. Grab that link in the description box below. Now it's time to get your help and your toolkit. What am I talking about? I'm talking about that as a special education advocate, I do this all the time. So I come in and I'm an expert at the table. But the reality is that so many families, they can't afford someone like me as an advocate, or they don't even have access to advocacy support. That's exactly why you need this digital toolkit. Make sure to grab it right here. And inside the toolkit, I lay out exactly the difference between accommodations and modifications. I give you that visual prompting guide. I also give you tons of stuff when it comes to IDA law. I give you all those insider acronyms that your team is talking about when it comes to LRE and least restrictive environment. Oh my goodness. When you walk in with a toolkit, whether it's a digital or a printout, which is what I bring to for every single IEP meeting, it changes the meeting dynamics from us against them to we and together. Pull up a seat at the IEP table. Make sure to grab that link in the description box below. So now you know about the 5 keys to productive IEPs, specifically when it comes to team collaboration, what it looks like, why you need it, and step by step how to get it. Let me ask you something. Was your last IEP meeting collaborative? Did your team members work together with you? How did you feel at the table? Put your questions and your comments in the link in the description box below. You want me to do another video? Yep, do it there too. Make sure to like and subscribe to get more videos like this in your inbox, and follow us on Instagram at RiseEdAdvocacy. I'm April Rarig, your special education advocate. I can't wait to see you for our next video.